Dear allies of America, please don't confuse our president for us. We are trying our best to resist him, contain him, and remove him from office as quickly as we can. Thank you for your patience. I'm a firm believer in respecting the position. Maybe you don't need to respect the man necessarily, or woman in the future, possibly. But I do think that you should respect the position and treating the person to whom you owe allegiance, the president of the United States, as if they are some sort of alien parasite, as if they're some sort of contagion. I think it's rather disrespectful. And this circus of modern politics, and including the right wing, it's really starting to wear on me. And I never really had much of a personal identity in regards to politics. I kind of always thought I was like a little to the left, but never really thought much about it. And in a practical world, I would probably say the same thing even now. But everything's gone a bit wonky. The left wing is so far left that they're not even left anymore. I don't know what the hell they are. They're in the void. But the right wing has done some crazy stuff as well. Now, it's sort of left me kind of, I guess, like a lot of people, it seems. I mean, maybe it's just the algorithm making me think that a lot of people are now becoming nationalists or leaning that way, at least. I mean, I'm not like hyper nationalist or anything. I'm not even really patriotic. I've always felt like it's hard to be patriotic for a massive country. Much easier for a smaller country, right? The same thing for like tribalism. You have 5 people, it's easier to be protective of them, a small family, but you can't really spread that amount of love to hundreds of millions, right? But I am starting to lean into this sort of nationalist identity sort of thing a bit more, because at the end of the day, the country is technically all that matters. I mean, you're part of the country, so as long as the country survives in a practical state, then that's really the best case scenario you could hope for. And these people, they are anti-America. And that's what this video is about. Anti-America. Trump is a symptom. They think that Trump has given reason to destroy America. They think that everyone in the world needs to come together to destroy Trump. They think everyone in the world hates America because of Trump, which is ridiculous, because everyone always hated America. I mean, there are times when you have specific people, specific sections of the world which may feel some respect for it, for things that happened, like in World War II. But generally speaking, people kind of always hated America for one reason or another. Now, this article is from The Guardian, so it's by Robert Reich. Very unfortunate name there for someone pushing anti-Trumpisms, to be named Reich. Must be purity tested quite a lot by his friends, as this is a former, Secretary of Labor who seemingly quit to become a professor at the University of California. Is that a shock to anyone? No, it's not. And, look, they have coming up short, a memoir of My America, Your America. Well, you have the title again. We're trying our best to resist him, contain him, and remove him as quickly as possible. And they quote various other people, various other leaders like Mark Carney and Emmanuel Macron. His country will never take part in operations to liberate the Strait of Hormuz or open it in current context. Macron barely even has a country anymore. France's birth rates are the same as its death rates, and a quarter of their births come from foreigners. I mean, they're struggling to even stay French, let alone get involved in foreign wars. And personally, I think a lot of the reason these Democrats from any country have a problem with war, with real war, is because it will expose them. It will expose which side the immigrants are on, which I think is a good thing, really. I mean, the immigrants will pick a side, right? They're not going to fight and die for you if they don't really want to be part of your country, if they don't really want to assimilate into it. And the women, the pornocracy under whose high heel we live, they can't really win the war, can they? Their credentials are what? Stripping, twerking, abortion? So a real war will let women know real quickly that they can't rule the world by twerking. It's not great for the corpocracy either, is it? I mean, they can't sell things to people when they're at war. Like the men who give women money to see their R18 content, well, they're all at war, aren't they? And the women aren't going to spend their money on beautification products, so then, well, Jeff Bezos isn't getting his money anymore, is he? I mean, so I think the Democrats are avoiding war for a reason, but rather it will expose the narrative of their globalist agenda as being very feminist, very corpocratic, and very weak when really put to the test. And I think it would totally crumble when put to the test. But Reich here, he goes on to mention one of Trump's crazy rants, which he's wont to do. I don't know what importance is there even to quote one of Trump's crazy rants? He does so many of them. It's not like one is different than the other. And then he sort of counters that with saying that he says we as America, we need your help fighting the climate crisis. We need your help heading off pandemics. We need your help countering global criminal gangs that are trafficking people. All of these feel goods that somehow never get solved. He's not mentioning any of the problems America faces that we ourselves could do something about, like immigration, for instance. I mean, is that listed anywhere? No. That's no. It's not mentioning immigration anywhere. Not mentioning illegal immigrants. Strange that it's not mentioning those things. He keeps saying we. He keeps saying we while talking about destroying his own president. He's asking for the help of foreign nations to destroy his own president, to destroy his own country that he is calling we. Mind you, in his short down here, it says my America. And up here, he's saying our America, we. He's asking for foreign countries to help him because he has no power, right? I mean, isn't that the narrative of it? He does not speak for us. He is not making decisions based on our welfare. He does speak for you, though. He's the president. Well, he doesn't speak for us. How contentious. How pretentious. We are trying our best to resist him, contain him, protest against him, and remove him from office as quickly as we can. I mean, honestly, I don't understand how some of this stuff is not treasonous to say. It's not just pushing for an impeachment or an investigation into his actions or whatever. You're actively calling, not just for your own citizens of this country, but for the citizens of other countries and for the leadership of other countries to attack America. You're asking them to attack America. That's what you're doing. And that brings me to this thread about Cuba. Now, this isn't really about Cuba. I mean, the thread is, and the post is. It's just an article about how Cuba is having its oil restricted, and America is asking for their embassy in Havana to have oil deliveries open to it, and Cuba said no. Yeah, of course Cuba's going to say no. And I don't have any problem with people laughing at that because it is silly. It's like shooting someone in the knee and then you stub your toe and you ask that person who you just shot in the knee to drive you to the hospital. Like, yeah, it's silly. It's ridiculous. But a lot of this thread is not about any of that. It's just anti-America. They're in favor of Cuba. They're defending Cuba. The U.S. is a rogue nation at this point. He raped children and murdered children. Was there ever an allegation that he murdered children? I mean, maybe in this new war, I suppose. It's perfectly reasonable, yeah. I mean, like I said, some of it is just a joke, but a lot of it is anti-America and weirdly pro-Cuban. The fact that the U.S. still has an embassy and is Cuban tolerance. Right, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, they have a group of weirdos over there, American socialists over there right now, spreading the good word of communism in Cuba. They're not doing it because they're tolerant. They're doing it because they can't exactly fight back, can they? And this brings me to just straight up saying we are hated as a nation and there's one man to blame. I'll reiterate what I said before. Everyone hated America before Trump. Before Trump 2.0, before Trump 1.0. People have hated America for a long time. All over the globe, people have hated America. It's very weird to say it's all his fault. And isn't that just proof of Trump derangement syndrome? I mean, this person thinks they know the exact people to blame down to the single-digit numbers. And on top of that, look at what they're saying. I mean, they're saying that every single person who voted for Trump needs to go, right? I mean, people say Rupert Lowe is an extremist. Forget if millions need to go. This person is trying to get rid of 77,302,580 citizens of the United States of America. Meanwhile, I bet they're willing to protect their neighbors, which are the illegal immigrants who have invaded the country, right? Because F ICE, right? I mean, look at this. The person called them, just reiterating themselves, like word for word. Like three times in that one post, one short post, they say a corrupt, lying, racist rapist. Like they're parroting themselves over and over again in their own post while talking about how 77 million Americans deserve what? Death? Certainly not deportation, right? Now, this is a thread from Esquire by Charles P. Pierce. As you can see, one of his most recent books is called Idiot America. Really? Great. I think you can see where this is going. Well, here's another article by him. In case it wasn't clear, Joe Kent is a wingnut. This plays off the narrative that the right-wing party has no one but insane people in it, and the more insane people leave, well, that leaves, well, nobody, as he put it, which I think is a funny thing to say, because the Democrats have no one to really rely on to be the president, do they? I mean, who is going to be the president next? And the right wing, you know that you can rely on like J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio. A lot of people like him recently. Who for the left wing? No, you're just going to call all the right wingers insane and undermine them. And of course you are, because that's just what people do on the left. They just call other people insane and say they're deranged and freaks and losers and incels and misogynists and so on and so forth, cultists, fascists, etc. Here's his article. We are hated as a nation. There's one man to blame. When talking with a new friend from Ireland, I was dismayed to discover just how far America's reputation has fallen. After this week's news, it all makes sense. I'm sorry, what? You talked with someone from Ireland, and you learned from that how far America's reputation has fallen. But sorry, what's Ireland's reputation on a global scale? Just what do you know about Ireland? What, the Blarney Stone? Four-leaf clovers? Leprechauns? Is it the accent? I mean, what do you know about Ireland? And then ask yourself, where do you know that from? Because unless you're Irish, or maybe from the UK or something, you probably know it from American television, maybe British television. You probably know about Ireland's lore, culture, whatever, from a foreign nation's media, right? And you're just going to talk to some guy from Ireland, and that's going to teach you how far America's reputation has fallen. And this one dude, this is the linchpin for your foundational belief that America is bad and needs to be destroyed. Good sweet Christ. That is embarrassing, really. It's embarrassing.
The country of Ireland likes to think of itself as stable, sensible, even cautious. But over the past 2 decades, something extraordinary has happened. Quietly, rapidly, and without real debate, the country has transformed itself. Gone is the old land of saints and scholars. In its place is a country many say now sits at the top of Europe's Premier League of woke progressive politics. Ireland.
This is MCC Brussels on YouTube. I didn't even look for this. Funnily enough, I was just scrolling through YouTube and saw it right after I saw that other article, and I thought, you know what? Why not? This is he's not Irish, obviously,
and anyone listen to,
but this guy is. It's this guy's book talking about it. Is Vandalizing Ireland is what it's called.
When they think of Ireland, they'll think Guinness, sheep, green fields, Kerrygold. Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. These small towns that have been utterly changed demographically, they were given no choice in the matter, and several of these IPAS centres have burnt down. But why? Because they were given no democratic choice. If you push people's back to the wall, this is what will happen. In my opinion, we are at a major crossroads. We're at a point where, if we're not careful, there is no turning back. The main parties that I see and I identify in the book as vandalising Ireland are government, particularly Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and Sinn Féin. Even though they're opposition, they've acted as silent partners to this government over the past 2 decades. Then the national media, is very literally in the pocket of the Irish government.
Right. So his story is just that wokeness ruined Ireland. But wait a minute. This Charles P. Pierce guy talked to a friend of his, a new friend of his from Ireland, and he learned that America has a bad reputation from this. So the article starts with, I spent a happy Saints' Day, Americans don't call it Saints' Day, on Tuesday having a few jars, Americans don't say jars, at my local, Americans don't say local, or at least not like that, with a new friend named Dennis O'Connor, a good Kerryman who's lived over here for some time. And Americans don't know what a Kerryman is either. We talked a while about international sport. Americans don't say international sport, they say sports. especially about how Ireland had been hosed out of the Six Nations Rugby Championship by England. Americans don't usually say hosed, but I guess occasionally you'll hear that. Not normally in that term, though. Not normally in that, like, the way of expressing it. England, damn it, who folded like a cheap suit and handed the win to France on a late penalty kick. Americans don't usually watch rugby either. We suspected the fine hand of Edward Carson or Lord Trevelyan or Cromwell, whom were working for the refs from the bowels of hell. Like, this does not sound like an American speaking to me. Now, I'm not going to get too much on this guy about this because he's apparently born and raised in Massachusetts, and based on from what I've seen, every white country has this issue, including England and Ireland. So it's not really about that, nor is it about this guy being Irish. It's about you being hyper-modern Democrats. The only time I saw Dennis get angry was when somehow the government of the United States came up in casual conversation. I'm guessing it's because you have nothing better to do with your life than constantly complain about how much you hate America. Is that how it somehow came up? You're talking about the U.S. team chock full of MAGA-curious dumbasses. Yes, well, that's what I love to see in my journalists. Hyper-bias to the point of insulting anyone who has an opinion that disagrees with you. Now, at what point do you stop being a journalist and just start being some jackass on the internet? I mean, this is just some American born in Massachusetts role-playing as an Englishman, and then he met an Irishman living in America. So you're saying an American LARPer pretending that he's an Englishman is having a conversation with an Irishman who may be an American, or maybe he's one of those, oh, I'm an American, but I'm actually an Irishman kind of person, even though their family hasn't lived in Ireland for 4 generations, that kind of person. I don't know exactly who Dennis O'Connor is, but you've been talking to an Irishman who got angry about America, and that's all it took. Man, did you not remember? Like, this guy is pretty old. Do you not remember that everyone hated America before Trump? Like, you truly have Trump derangement syndrome. Look at the rest of the world. Every white country is having this problem. It's not just America. It's not just Trump. It's Democrats. Look at the other countries. Do you not see the problem goes beyond America? It goes into every other white nation. France is screwed. Germany, pretty bad off. The UK starting to fight back. Canada and Australia also have this issue. Pretty much every white country has this issue. I've even seen posts about Swedish people saying that, oh, well, we don't see color over here. As long as you can speak the language, you're Swedish. Yeah, ridiculous. It's like early 2000s South Park. I swear to God, people are being so weird about all of this. Trump derangement syndrome. No such thing as ethnicity as long as it belongs to white people. There's no such thing as American white culture. All of this utter ridiculousness that all males are bad, especially orange males. It's, oh God, I don't even know how to wrap my head around it. There's every single possible angle: fascist, misogynist, incel, white, male, supremacist. It's just everything. Everything they could say, they said it. And weirdly, there are morons out there who are taking it and running with it. I mean, look at this. They're even glazing Venezuela here. Are you going to glaze Cuba too? It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, what do you want to happen? Do you want the 77 million people who voted for Trump to be annihilated like the Redditor did? Is that what you want? Do you want the because it's not just them. It's not just the people who actually voted for Trump. There's more than that. The Democrats are very much in the minority, or rather, the extreme Democrats. And the extreme Democrats have parasitized the normal Democrats, and they are going to stay in the minority, and maybe they'll get a win here and there, but when they do, they're going to immediately remind everyone why they hate the Democrats. Like, what do you want to happen? And why do you think that, oh, well, some Irish person who lives in America hates America, and therefore America needs to change? Oh, yeah, shall we also make Islam our main religion? Shall we do that, huh? Shall we also put men in shackles because women feel scared when they walk the streets of their own accord? What exactly is the mentality here? If someone doesn't like America, America should change to fit their personal narrative. Ridiculous. And here's another thing from Ireland I happen to see as a connection to the other one. This guy's RP, r.p underscore MMA. He does not like the state of what's happening with Ireland right now either. Now, I don't know why he's got a New York hat on, an American flag in the background. Presumably he lives in New York. He's got a lot of comic book stuff going on. But this is just some random person, as far as I can tell. This isn't like a journalist writing books or selling his book. This isn't some sort of former senator or anything. And not as far as I'm aware, anyway. It seems to just be some guy. And like me, like other people, he has opinions regarding things that are happening in his country and in foreign countries. I'm not blaming Charles P. Pierce for having an opinion on America, by the way. I have an opinion on the UK as well. My opinion on the UK is not that Keir Starmer needs to be obliterated. I just think that they have some crazy censorship laws and some crazy immigration laws, and most of my rhetoric for them is actually just a mirror of rhetoric that I have for my own country, because I see the UK as a microcosm of the USA, and anything that happens in the UK will eventually happen in the USA unless we stop it beforehand. That's really why I focus on the UK more than anything. It's a perfect example of what's going to happen. They are basically our future. So this here's this particular point where I've paused it, shows that the sex crimes in Ireland have quadrupled since 2003, and the foreign-born population of Ireland has quadrupled since 2003, rising 25% in 2025. 25% is also around the same amount of foreign-born French people, isn't it? It's like 21% of French people are being born by foreigners now, like nearly a quarter. So, I mean, it's not like brown people are bad or immigrants are bad, but you're changing your country into someone else, or you're opening the doors to your country and allowing people to come in and change it. Pretty soon, there's not going to be a France or an Ireland or an England. It's going to be something else. They're going to take it and they're going to rename it. And in time, they're going to do the same thing with America. And that's what I'm worried about.
2023. And it says that mass migration creates crime. This is refuted by every government in the world. No correlation. We spoke about that recently. These were links that were sent to me that I thought were normal, shocking, absolutely incredible, but to be expected. This is Ireland. Is it going to get worse? Is there a possibility for it to get better?
Yeah, possibility, sure. I mean, there's always a possibility, right? I honestly, I like, words don't do anything, it would seem. Even Trump, for all of his bluster, for all of the fear-mongering that the left wing does about what horrors Trump is unleashing on the world, what has he really done to the left? I mean, honestly, have you seen anything? Like, two people died because they were impeding the federal government, because they were told by the left wing that they were allowed to do that they should do it. As this other article said, that people need to go out and do it. We're trying to resist him and contain him and remove him from office. But other than that, what have you heard? You've heard that people have been just magically disappeared by ICE, never to be seen again. But you don't know any of these stories. You just hear whispers of it on the internet, and you say, wow, it must be true. Because it's what I want to hear. Bad news about Trump, because I have Trump derangement syndrome. Like, I don't particularly care for Trump as a person, but I do agree with a lot of the stuff he says. I just want him to follow through on the stuff he says. And these people with Trump derangement syndrome, they hate America. They hate the nation they're part of, or maybe they're a foreigner who hates it for some inexplicable reason. Someone who might be having a conversation with an Irishman, and that's enough for them to decide that America's bad, like you didn't have an opinion on it beforehand. I'm just getting pushed further and further to a nationalist agenda. I'm not pro-Trump specifically. I like some of the things he says. I like some of the things the Democrats say. I also hate some of the things the Democrats say. But I just want America to be in control of Americans. And like him or hate him, Trump is an American. I don't want to be controlled by Islam. I don't want to be controlled by immigrants who hate us specifically. I just... Is that really like such a weird thing to ask? I mean, it seems like it is. It seems like wanting your country to be controlled by your country makes you the enemy of the world. Because, well, there he is, right there on your screen. The enemy of the world. Anyway, that was just an unscripted ramble, so I'm sure it was a little bit incoherent at times. But it is what it is. I just trying to put my own feelings in perspective while I was doing it. Like this shift towards nationalism is actually because of the modern left. Like I wasn't always like that. I never really had much of a political opinion. I think a lot of people are like that. People who were left get pushed to the right. People who were center get pushed to the right. People who were right get pushed really far to the right. And not a lot of people come back from that. And the people who do come back from that, it always seems to be Trump derangement syndrome, doesn't it? It always seems to be, well, I voted for Trump 3 times, but now I hate him because I have to pay $2 more for gas. And like it's those kinds of people that shift away from the right, but I never hear any other stories about that. It's always the left pushing people away, which, I mean, how could they not, I suppose. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things.